What's good, kings and queens? Hope everyone's week is going well. This week's video is on a tale not many people know of, and that's how Mike Tyson almost got out of $38 million of debt he owed to the government back in 2003. I remember when Tyson was asked sometime mid-last decade how much money he owed to the government, and he replied, "You don't even want to know, but my children will be taken care of." That being said, let's start the video. So this story takes place right after the Lewis-Tyson fight in early 2003. Tyson was eyeing his comeback fight with Clifford. Clifford was on a 19-fight win streak and was named Ring Magazine's most exciting fighter to watch of the year 2000. So a fight like this will be a great comeback for Mike. Freddie opposed the decision because Tyson was not in the best condition for the fight, and obviously a loss there, well, that's the end of the road as his status as a prize fighter. So the fight was supposedly cancelled by the promoters and Tyson's team without Tyson's say. Tyson arrived in Memphis for the fight, pretty much stating the fight is still on. Clifford was about to cancel the fight because most of his team members had already left Memphis. Clifford had a change of heart and was like, well, you know, okay, the fight is on. Despite the huge lack of confidence from Tyson's camp of his condition to face a hungry journeyman on a long win streak, Tyson took no chances and took out Clifford in 49 seconds of the first round, resulting in one of his quickest victories. So you have a performance like that. Tyson, who was actually injured, fought through the pain and put a great impression on investors and fight fans that he's back. There were talks of a rematch with Lewis. Tyson would fight on his undercard against Oleg Moskaev while he defended his title against Vitaly Klitschko. Though I think he had a great chance of beating Moskaev, Tyson pulled out of the deal and did not fight for the rest of the year solely because he was suing Don King for $100 million. K1 was definitely at its peak in 03-04. There was some hype generating of a fight with Bob Sapp and Tyson. I would like to know how much money K1 and investors in Japan were willing to pay Tyson to go over there and fight Bob Sapp.
I'm fighting tonight, the Marcus of Queensberry. I think Mr. Sapp is awesome. He has awesome physical power. But as I said before, if we fight in the Marcus of Queensberry, I love to fight him. Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
The heavyweight picture coming into 04 was quite bleak. Lewis retired right after his Klitschko bout. Pound for pound star Roy Jones Jr. moved back down to light heavyweight. There were not any pay-per-view stars, someone to really bring in money in the division, as the power of the division was slowly beginning to be taken over by Europe. Tyson taking the year off was a good thing since he sat at number 2 in the rankings, but also a bad thing because ring rust and not staying in good condition in between fights. Tyson was really that last hope to keep big money heavyweight prize fights in America, and they set up a deal secretly with HBO and promoter Bob Arum. They were going to buy out Tyson's contract with Showtime, and Tyson was going to be given an $80 million deal. This is pretty much like Floyd's deal to go to Showtime in 2012, except Floyd had a lot left in him. For this fight, Tyson earned an $8 million purse, but $6 million was taken away from the bankruptcy court, which is part of his payment plan. Like I stated in one of my previous videos, Tyson's body was absolutely beat. He couldn't move like he wanted to, very prone to injury. Tyson was able to get in great shape for the fight. He reunited with old strength coach from his days with Customato, and everything looked to be going well. The fight started all Tyson. Mike would hurt Williams with a combination, and as he was trying to get him out of there, the absolute unexpected happened. Tyson tears a ligament in his knee towards the end of the round. After that round, Tyson was far less mobile, making himself incredibly flat-footed. He was not able to throw his punches with power, and he was getting hit with shots he normally would glance off.
However, Mike Tyson's style.
Yes, Mike Tyson's style is far better because he employs what they call a protective style of boxing. He's always bobbing and weaving side to side he doesn't get hit that very much.
Okay.
Despite Tyson trying to get off power shots, it expanded a lot of energy, and it was just in due time Danny would crack through Tyson's defense. Towards the end of the 4th round, he did, and dropped Tyson. Tyson was unable to make the count, and Williams wins by knockout, resulting in his $80 million contract with Bob Arum and HBO to be thrown out.
One of the biggest wins in British boxing history! You cannot believe it!
Following after the fight, Tyson would get surgery on his knee, in which you will later see his final professional fight against Kevin McBride. Tyson was paid $5.5 million, but almost all but $250,000 of it went to the bankruptcy court and his ex-wife. Tyson would be stopped in the 6th round, and he would announce his retirement right then and there. With a Tyson win against Williams, would have changed the reality we're in now with the Tyson today. The image of Tyson had completely changed. Tyson worked on a documentary about his life with writer and director James Toback titled Tyson. In 2008, this documentary opened the eyes of many what Tyson went through in his life. Toback invited older women who did not like boxing to a private screening of the picture. If they decided to leave, he would give them $100 to stay an extra 5 minutes. If they stayed longer than 5 minutes, they will have to watch the whole movie and give feedback on the film. Not a single woman left, and many were in tears of the ending. When the documentary was released, it was widely well received by the critics. Despite it not being shown on television, most watching this video probably never even heard of this documentary, but it created a buzz in the film industry, being nominated for several awards and winning the Cannes Film Festival in 2008. This film was a hit, generating $887,000 in the US, almost a total $1 million worldwide. Now, you may not think this is impressive, but the amount of money spent on this production, the awards it received following making almost $1 million at the box office. The movie was a hit. This changed the stereotypical image of Mike Tyson to where Hollywood came knocking at his door to be part of a role in a well-written, low-budget comedy called The Hangover. When I saw the trailer for the movie upon its release and saw Tyson, I would say regardless if the movie was good or bad, I'm going to watch it because of Mike, despite the trailer being very good. I went to go see it the weekend of release and was blown away how good it was. The film did well on opening weekend, then the word spreaded that it was actually a good movie. People flooding the theaters to go see, becoming a giant hit. The film had a budget of $35 million and its total gross was $469 million. A sequel for the film was immediately approved, and Tyson is back in the spotlight. The second film was just as great as the first, showing off Tyson has always had the talent for showbiz, and I could say a lot of boxers from the 80s and down seem to be naturally good behind the camera, and Tyson was no different. With the success of both Hangovers and being centered around people who actually care about him,
You need to know I'm very proud of you and pleased with you and the way you've gone with your life and doing the right thing. And I would love to meet your wife sometime. Tell her I said good job. Thank you. Okay.
he was consistently getting great work. Re-teaming up with Spike Lee for his own HBO special, Fox did a great TV special on him called Being Mike Tyson. And here we are in 2020, and the sky's the limit for Tyson. Despite the loss to Williams, it's great to see Tyson turn a dark negative moment in his life, roll with the punches, and turn it into something positive.
I realized as life goes on, and at one point I thought life was about acquiring anything. I was explaining this before, but as I get older, life is totally about losing everything, because as life goes on, we lose more than we acquire.
And on top of that, this is the tale of Tyson's $80 million deal. For more tales like these, be sure to like, share, and if you're new, subscribe. Due to the unpredictability of YouTube, I have finally decided to start up a Patreon. Patrons will be given early access to new videos, exclusive content that has not been viewed on the channel, and my portfolio work. Link will be in the description and on the channel page. With all that being said, I appreciate the support over the years, and I hope to continue to produce quality content for you, the viewer.